to another Milken Gaming video. My name is Nex, and today I'll be teaching you how to buck. First and foremost, let's take a look at his loadout. Buck is an attacker, meaning that he gets long-range rifles as opposed to short-range submachine guns. His first rifle is the C8 SFW, which is a medium to long-range rifle with good damage. It suffers from an extremely large amount of buck, or recoil. For this reason, I highly recommend the recoil compensator over any of the other barrel attachments. To be honest, the sight you choose is all down to personal preference, as is whether to use the laser or not. Personally, I never use the laser as I feel it can give away my position at bad times. Next is the CAMRS long-range rifle. This gun has an awesome amount of damage with little recoil for the trade-off of being semi-automatic. Using this weapon, you have a little more freedom due to the fact that you can manage its recoil by spacing out your shots. Still, I personally like to use the compensator for that little bit of accuracy after your first shots. Again, sights and laser are personal preference. Next, we have his pistol and gadgets. His pistol is the Mark I 9mm. I like to keep a suppressor on it simply to take out cameras and enemy equipment a little bit more silently. His gadgets are the breach charge and stun grenade. I love being able to create multiple routes of attack, so I take the breach charge almost every round. Although if you're paired with a sledge, you may want to take stun grenades, as he can usually create more than enough routes if he survives. Now let's take a look at some gameplay. Buck's unique gadget is the skeleton key, which is an underbarrel shotgun. It has many uses, such as blasting down barricades, creating murder holes, and annihilating enemies, as I'll showcase later. Scouting for Buck isn't extremely important, aside from the normal finding the objective for your team. Although he can take advantage of the fact that by scouting he'll know a lot of the spots that are long range and short range, allowing him to gauge where and when he'll need to use his underbarrel shotgun, and what spaces to switch to his long-range rifle. For this information, Buck and his team can carefully plan which routes they're going to take, as well as being ready for whatever enemies they may encounter. You can see that right away here, I begin to look for cameras and any roamers, even though I'm not even up the side of the boat yet. This is important because sometimes defenders will rush you on any map and have a tendency to peek through windows. For example, right here, I take a little pause to see if there's anyone looking through that window before I enter. Next, I'll be showcasing the beauty that is breach charges. Breach charges have so many different uses, it's crazy. They can create so many different routes and create mass confusion for the defenders. Here I am placing another one and spotting a different Copcon trap that is poorly placed. A pro tip for Copcon is never place your traps on a window that's barricaded by castle. Next, you can see me jumping through this window with my underbarrel shotgun out, just in case there's anybody waiting on the other side or in the room. Even though I did have a teammate, so I had a vague idea of where the enemies were and weren't. And unfortunately here, Frost managed to get the drop on me as nobody checked above us. Next up, I have some terrorist hunt gameplay footage for you guys. I'm going to be using his assault rifle as opposed to his semi-automatic rifle, as it will be able to demonstrate the finer points of his guns a lot better, especially since that its recoil is so much higher than the semi-automatic counterpart. As you can see here, it's relatively easy to bust through a solid wooden wall with his underbarrel shotgun, and you can see how quickly it tore through the enemy. Although this is on normal difficulty, it still shreds through players and AI alike. The downside of Buck's skeleton key is it has almost no ammo. As you can see, I've already run out, and I've only fired a few shots. In this demonstration, I'm trying to be as accurate as possible with his rifle. Currently I have the recoil compensator attached, which allows me to place my shots a lot easier and a lot more accurately. I highly recommend the recoil compensator, as the only real downside is the fact that you can't use a suppressor or a muzzle flash hider. But I think that the pros definitely outweigh the cons, as this gun without the recoil compensator is absolutely insane. There's almost no control to it and it sprays straight into the air. Here you can see me making the mistake of trying to pistol down a suicide bomber. As you can see here, even though I was fully blasting through that doorway, my gun stayed pretty level because I was able to control the recoil. And single shots are also extremely accurate, like on this nitro cell here. As you guys can see, at any distance, Buck's gun is still able to place precision shots using the recoil compensator and a little bit of accuracy control. This seems like the perfect spot to close out the video. My name's been Excessus Nex, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, glory to the Empire!